Let's talk about callback functions. Imagine that I got a function, right? Called do stuff, and that function return hello higher order function, right? So if I want to call do stuff, right? It just works, right? And if I have another function called do more stuff, we can call it hello callback workshop, right? So if I then call do stuff, and then I'm going to look at console log do stuff, and then we do console log do more stuff. So which will be the order of the messages? What will be displayed first and what will be displayed last?
Do stuff
Hello
first.
high order function and hello order.
You are right. Why? Because first we called that function and then we call this function.
Yes.
This is obvious, right? This is synchronous JavaScript. The first thing that you call, the first thing gets resolved. The second thing you call, the second thing gets resolved, right? That's how basic JavaScript works. But in reality, this may be more complicated. I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to change the functions a bit. So I go to the console log. So yeah, I'm just preparing the exercise. So at the moment, nothing should change, right? So if I run the example again, that's the same thing. But then what happens if I do that? Do you remember set timeout?
Yeah,
What is set timeout doing, Chris?
it's putting 2 seconds before that function is called.
Right?
So the second one's going to come first and then that.
Right. So which function, which message will come up first?
Second.
This one.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you've asked that to run after 1 second, you've asked the other one to run after 2 seconds.
Okay, let's try that. Wait. You're right. Even though we're calling do stuff first, so that should happen earlier on, in reality, we got a delay, right? So this happens after that message is returned, right? But what happens if we want to control that? What happens if we definitely want to display hello higher order functions first and then hello callback workshop last? How can we control that?
With some dependency.
Dependency. And how do we manage that dependency?
So that do more stuff depends on do stuff.
Yeah, do more stuff depends on do stuff. But how can we delay that until this is completed?
I can't think of anything than an if statement right now.
If statement, that probably won't help, unfortunately. So the first thing that we've been doing, historically speaking, in JavaScript, and in some specific environments like Node.js, that's still quite popular, is using callback functions. So callback function is, look at what I'm doing. I'm going to call do stuff, but I'm going to pass a higher order function, which is what we just learned a minute ago. You see? So I say, call do stuff, so whenever it is ready, call this function, right? So now I can move that inside. So what happens if I try to run this example?
Do more stuff will only run when do stuff
Do more stuff
finished.
will run first.
Do more stuff will run first.
No.
Will be displayed first.
Any other thought?
They do stuff with run first. Do more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, do more stuff has to call into do stuff.
Yeah, but
the same as that. It needs to like execute.
Oh, so it's the other way around then.
It needs to do more stuff has to execute and then go to do stuff to call up to execute.
Okay, right. So you want to change the order. I mean, that's fine. Let's do that. Not against that.
Better if you change the order.
Yeah.
Why? It's fine.
Because to no, why?
Yeah, that's it. Just to
change
keep.
the timer as well.
That's all right. Look, right. So
But then it just supersedes if it's an RL function and just run.
Do more
No,
stuff.
it's just about what it's called. Its names are too similar.
yeah. Okay. Let's rename example. So this is quick, and this is slow. But in reality, I want to run the slow task first, and then I want to run the quick task. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool, better. So what will this return?
This
I
is
think
quick.
exactly what you asked it to do.
Okay, let's play it.
We can't.
This is quick.
It's an
This is
expected
gonna
action.
be first, I think.
It's running the first one, so it's definitely running the slow one because we're calling it,
Yeah.
but this one, the quick one, never runs, right? I'm going to rename the content to make it clear. So quick task completed should happen last, and then slow task completed should happen first. Let's try that again. Wait. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So the slow task is completed, the first one is completed, but this one is never invoked. Why? So how many arguments the this is slow function receives?
0.
0. So what happened with the argument we are passing?
It's never returned.
It's never, yeah, correct. It's never processed. It's literally ignored, right?
Why are we not getting an error?
We're not getting an error because it's just ignored, right? Look at the this is slow function. It doesn't expect any argument. It's not doing anything, right? So you can type whatever you want here. I mean, this is the same as doing that. This will be ignored, right? Doesn't matter what you type here because we are not expecting anything. So we are not doing anything with that. That's why there are no errors.
So would you then pass
No, but I think in Ruby it will give an error, like an expected number of arguments.
Yeah, but in JavaScript, you can pass as many arguments as you want. Look, right? And that's fine, no problem. It's a flexible dynamic language. As far as you don't do anything with them, they will be simply ignored.
So would you then add a function within this is slow?
Exactly, that's it, Aaron. So we need to pick that argument, right? So how many arguments do we need? 1. So this is I'm going to call it callback function, right? And then what do we need to do with the callback function? Invoke it. Where? Here?
That's the function that's been running at the moment, though, right?
Say it again.
That's the function that's been running at the moment. The top one's the one that hasn't run, right?
Yeah, so obviously this goes to the quick thingy, right? I put it on the wrong place. But that's the same principle. So we go to this quick. So whenever this quick is completed, right? Sorry, that was correct, Chris. I did it wrong. Sorry again. No. So we want to wait until this is slow function is completed. So this is slow will receive 1 argument, right? Callback function. So is that correct? Can we call the callback function here? So what will happen if I run the example?
It won't recognise it.
It won't recognize it.
No,
Because it isn't the callback function within the function itself, so it's not coming outside of it.
Uh,
I don't know.
I disagree. I think what will happen now is it will run both functions, but in reality, the quick one will run first.
Oh no, exactly.
Let's see if that's true and we'll see why. Exactly. You see? It ran the quick function and then the slow, but we want it on the other way around. So why that happen? Because we call this is slow, then we do a timeout, but look, we don't wait for the timeout. Immediately after calling this is slow, we invoke the callback function.
No, well, yeah, what we call back inside of timeout.
Exactly, that's the problem, right? So we need to add the callback at the very end, there, right? So if we put the callback there, then we can, let's play it, and then we can add some breakpoints. So now we will expect this is slow, so it will definitely run that message. Slow should happen first, and then it will call the callback function. So it will execute that code, and then it will wait for an additional second, and it will display should happen last. Let's play that. Slow, 1 second, quick. That's correct. Let's add a breakpoint. So you are going to tell me,
You just put this is quick inside the this is slow.
no, but I don't want to do that. You cannot do that. So these functions, you cannot call them from each other, right? So imagine that here you are calling the backend to get the list of TV shows, and here you call the backend again to get the list of whatever based on the TV shows, right? So these are REST HTTP requests, and they may take seconds if you are on the phone, right? So could you please tell me, and I don't think you can see the lines, so just give me a second. Menu. So I want you to tell me, please, the execution order lines. Actually, let me finish that. 15. And then what? Free. And then what? So Justin,
You called
15, 9,
This is slow. 15 is referring to slow,
Chris,
so it's got to be 9,
15, 9,
and then it'll go. Then it'll be 10,
Chris sets 10,
and then like we'd go to 11 after.
11, there is no breakpoint on 11,
Yeah, no, but it would because it's calling it back, and then it'll go back
16,
on
3,
16, 3, 4.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Chris agree on that.
Yeah.
Any other thought?
My theory is you're calling 15,
Yep,
it's going up to 9,
correct.
then it's going to run the console log
Yep,
to get that, and then straight after it's got a callback. So then it has to go.
wait a minute, why 6? There is no breakpoint on line 6.
If we can say 6.
16.
16.
Yeah, because it's seeing the callback, and then it's got to go obviously to 6 and see this is quick, and then it will go back up to the top.
Yep. Yep. Agree on that? Does anyone disagree on that? So let's review. So they said it stops first on line number 15, and then it will invoke the function, so it will run line number 9. So then, as there is nothing else afterwards, it will jump to line number 10, and then it will it will finish that function, so it will run to number 16, so it will then go to number 3 and number 4. I'm going to make it even more complicated. Right? So what happened now?
So the team will go after 9.
13 will go after 9. And then what? 13,
Then everything is the same. Then yeah, 10.
10, and then what?
But then it runs first.
First and what?
No.
I think I think it will just go at the end. Yeah.
At the end what?
Because it's got
At the end of
whole thing.
at the end of 4, Because ultimately the callback function will jump straight down to 17.
Okay, so then you tell me the order.
Shift it back up again.
16, 9, and then what?
10,
10. So 16,
7,
9.
3, 4.
Wait a minute. 10. What else again?
Followed by
17,
17,
3,
3,
4,
4.
and then it will go back to 13.
It will go back to 13.
And it will go on 13.
Do you agree on that?
No.
No. Some people disagree. Why?
Well, actually, would it even show that up?
I don't know.
I don't think it would show up because it would have executed all the functions, and then it would just be like, well, I've done my job, so I don't need to execute that anymore.
But that's part of the function.
Or like that.
So, Christian, Constantine, you disagree?
No, I already said yes. I think it will go like 9.
Run it.
9, 9 are going to run it. 9, and then what?
13.
9, 13, and then what?
Same.
Same.
No, 1 second.
I was saying that though, but it is actually a callback.
Because it's not. Okay. Yeah, it'll go up in 9.
Come on, guys. Yes, 10. What is 10?
No, then
I think, yeah, because it's.
I think 16,
then 10. Yes, then
9,
10. 13, 10.
No, 16, 9, 13.
Yeah, 16, I think 16, 9.
16,
16,
9.
Is
nine.
it a timeout? Is it a
13.
timeout number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is this correct or not?
16, 9.
Because that's where the callback function used to be.
Time
where it
out.
was others. So now it's called first.
It would look for the timeout on 9, so it'll probably jump to 13 and then potentially go back. You reckon?
Yeah, it's within the book.
Because then it would do the 2-minute, it would do the 2-second delay, so it would then call 13 because it doesn't have to wait for them. But the thing is, would it jump back on, and then it would do 10. I think 9 before 10.
You think 9 before 10. But in
13 before 10.
13 before 10, like that. So that's correct.
16, 9,
Right.
13.
I think this is correct. And let's prove the theory. Let's run it. Right? It changed the breakpoints. Thank you, Chrome. Last minute change. Ignore that, please. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Let's move the breakpoints back to their original position. I think it was like that. So let's try again. Here we go. Right. So it goes to 16, and then it will just call the function, right? So next thing should run line number 9. Exactly. And then we got a timeout, but this is asynchronous. So this will take a couple of seconds to run. So definitely the next stop shouldn't be 10 because it will jump after the timeout. So next stop should be 13. Exactly. And then, because there is nothing else happening anywhere else, because this is just waiting to the callback to be invoked, it will wait for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and then hello, what is it? It's gone. Let me start again. 1, 2. It's not working with timeouts. That's not good. Yeah, okay, so Chrome is not working.
Maybe we can go inside or run
Yeah, that's
step by step.
that's I'm trying, definitely. I'm trying. Okay, so let's go step by step. So yeah, this is still. Oh, thank you, DevTools. Right. Thank you, Chrome. Thank you for nothing. Right. So let's inspect again. Right. Let's do step by step. So, right, we go to line number 9, and then wait 2 seconds. It's right. I think this is just more complicated than just explaining it. So the tools are not helping at all. But again, let's explain the flow. Right. So it goes to line number 16. This is flow. This is slow. Sorry. So it will run line number 9. And then we got here asynchronous code, so it will jump to line number 13 straight away, right? After 2 seconds, it will definitely stop here, right? It will display slow task. And finally, it will invoke the callback function. So this block will be invoked. The side effect of invoking this code is that the this is quick function on top will be executed. So then the same thing, it will stop on line number 3, and after 1 second, it will stop on line number 4. So, last thing, can you please tell me the order of the console log messages?
Just the console logs.
Yeah, which one comes first?
13,
This is just
10, 4.
This is just noise.
It's 13, 10, 4. Just went through.
Yeah, but it's not working fine with tools. It's not stopping on the machine.
13, 10, 4.
13, so right, so you said that is 13,
10, 4.
13, 10, and 4. So we got 13, we got 10, and we got 4. I agree with Chris. This is just noise. And eventually, I don't know what's happening with Chrome today, I'll be honest. Did we do something wrong? It should happen, right? Hello? That's very weird. So these console logs are just ignored. Does anyone see anything strange in this code?
But it was working fine before you added.
Yeah, it was working fine, right? Yeah, there's something strange going on with Chrome. I'm going to shut it down by the last time. Yeah, that's the worst thing of DevTools. Sometimes the results are literally, no sense. So I just copied the code and I'm going to paste it and see if it makes any difference. You see, now it works. I literally cut and paste the code. This is absolutely pointless. So let's try again. I'm going to add the noise console log. So we got the noise, slow task, and quick task. That's correct. And hopefully means that now we may be even able to add the breakpoints. But I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to break it again, right? So that's the execution order. And then what happens if we have another function called this is quickest. And that function will just return a console log and says this is quickest task completed should happen last. So how can we run this is quickest after this is quick? Will this work? No. Why not?
So run before this is quick.
Correct. So how can we fix it?
Put this is quickest inside this is quick.
This is quickest inside this is quick, like that. So what will happen? No. Like what?
Like what you did with
Another callback function. Correct. Something like that. Will this work?
at the
Where?
up in this square.
Yeah. Yep. And then what?
The callback function the lower
There.
yeah.
Right? Okay. Let's run the example. Slow task, quick task, quickest task. That's correct. So we managed to understand the sequence. I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to rename it from quickest to quicker, but now I'm actually going to create quickest. And how do we run? Again, let's change that a bit.
Another, you put another.
Another, right? So
And give this is quicker callback. Argument.
yep, like that. So you want to add another callback function here, and then you want to call this is quickest, like that.
And this is quicker. Put
Yep.
the callback function as an argument.
Correct,
There.
correct, and we call it here, right?
Yeah. And
Yep. Okay, so let's see if that makes any sense. Slow, first, second, third, and last. So it's correct. It's correct. Technically speaking, we can decide the execution order, right? So this is correct. That's the classic approach to callback functions. However, this is painful. At some extent, you can imagine that this is very hard to read, right? It's hard to follow the sequence. Because of that, we got now something called promises. And because it's quite late, I'm not going to explain promises now. So I'm going to stop here, and next day we'll do a new video to explain promises, taking this very same example as a starting point. Any question? No?
Can
Cool.
Can we do it today?
Do you want to do it? Okay, let's do it after lunch. Cool. Cheers.